Hello, hello, hello. This is Happy Valley Hobbies, and these are hobbies that make me happy. Starting a little early today, not by much, only a couple of minutes. But yeah, it's been last week was sort of kind of interesting. Uh, I got a note from my landlord. Apparently, there's going to be an inspection for, I guess, a corporation that's going to by the apartment complex as uh, income based, I guess, which don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. All I know is that, well, uh, I was really never taught how, very good housekeeping skills. So, not sure how that's going to affect things. Uh, but as I said, I just don't know. Uh, but it's leaving a little uncertainty in on that portion of the home front. But I would have to say one good thing is that my workplace, where I'm a uh, temporary employee. Hello there, John. Thank you for coming in. Uh, the worksheet, that shows all your, who's doing what and all that, the work schedule. Um, my name has been, you know, written in basically. Well, apparently it has now been added permanently to the list. So it's no longer handwritten, it's actually typed in. So I guess that's a good sign. Uh, Hello there, Dave. Thank you for coming in. Um, so I'll find out by the end of the month if I become a real employee and not through JJ Young, um, which is a employment placement agency. Uh, so I guess that's a good sign. But at the sort of it's one of those things where one thing has been seems to be more stabilized, something else has turned around and been stabilized, because I do not know how. I mean, it would be nice if I was able to get a mortgage, because there is a local uh, building that would be nice to move into. I don't know if it's actually up for sale, but it's now currently not being lived in. Uh, it's a cute little two-story house, uh, which I want to say I think has the same footprint as my current uh, my current apartment, but it's two-story with possible basement, so I would be, three times as much. But that would be an interesting uh, uh, be an interesting thing to buy. And theoretically, I was just watching a YouTube video saying that right now, uh, buying a house with mortgage and everything uh, is I think either a third or one quarter cheaper than it is to rent. And when I was actually looking for places originally in this area when I was moving here, uh, I actually get a ranch style. That's I'm not sure what a ranch is. I mean, it's at least two-story on one side, but single story on the other. So I actually know someone that had a ranch style that it was sort of two-story but offset. Because when you walked in the front door, uh, you had the option of either going downstairs or upstairs. Uh, yeah, you had to. Yeah, it was either downstairs into the basement or upstairs to yeah, it's the first floor. The sort of like yeah, it would be tri-level. Uh, the middle portion was where the garage was, and then there was a full floor above the garage. So that way, I guess would be a quad level. But no, it's a cute little two-story building. It's as far as I know, it hasn't been lived in since I moved here in the end of 2019. I don't know if it's been maintained. Uh, one thing I would do is find a way to at least put a temporary garage up, but then eventually have an actual solid garage. Um, I would have to say it might be possibly a little bit too close to the railroad tracks, because the Vermont Railway would be right behind it. So I don't know how much noise and vibration winds up uh, interfering, I guess. Because it is one of those things of when I was younger, it's like, ooh, it'd be right next to the railroad tracks and all that. But it's like, now that I'm older, it's like, ooh, that might be too close. And because it's like I don't think it's near. There is a crossing nearby, but I think the whistle post is not near. So I would hear the train go by, and then it would be blowing the horn, or at least that's what I think is. I think that's how far it is away. I don't know exactly where the whistle post is. It's also a place where they don't really go that. It's sort of like a branch line, so they're not really going fast. They might be doing maybe 20 miles per hour, through the area. But yeah, it's one of those things of, the question is, will I be able to get a mortgage though? Because it might be too much of a risk, which makes no sense to me. It's like I'm it's a risk. I forgot what it was, but it was basically I was a risk zone because there might be I would not have the possibility of paying off the loan, but yet I can spend 3 times as much for rent. That was okay. It's like, hey, but a lot of from what I understand, there's well, hello there, Andy. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it just made to me. It just makes no sense that it's less a risk for me to pay 3 times as much than it's like having a mortgage. It's like I'm paying I'm paying 4 times as much, but you're saying that I'm too much of a risk. But I don't know. I do not understand the logic of banks. But Well, enough of this silliness. What I wound up doing, let's switch cams. Ooh, wait a second. Let's see. I want to show something real quick. All right, let's move that there. Move this over here. Put that there. Let's see if I can actually do this. This is, well, it's a little on the, all right, let's see, slides and PDFs, extra camera, video camera, share screen, sharing tips. Easy with the 2 monitors. Well, I got 3. Good computer. All right, share screen. Now, does it let me? Yes, select the screen. Let's see. Mute website modifications while sharing. All right, now, ta-da! This is sort of gives a, I want to say, sort of a look at what the internals of a covered truss bridge is. As you can see, that sort of like this is what the actual truss is, and this is sort of the covering that's there. You can see where, here's part of, this one doesn't look like it has anything on it, but you can see where it used to be. This obviously is a bridge that has been slow. Well, I would have to say it's been slowly falling apart over the years. With these different pictures, you can actually see how this is pretty much almost okay, and this one's where you can see where it's pretty much all falling apart, and this one, it looks like it's been refurbished a little bit, but not covered. So they fixed the floor compared to this one, but they also took off all the covering on it. But it does give a, if you look at some of the small details on it, let's see, this one's probably better. You can see where, some of the stuff is on the inside, and you can sort of hear where it fell off. But it's obviously they got stringers on there to keep everything all nice and set up that way. Hello there, Randall. Thank you for coming in. And so this is showing, these pictures are showing, this is obviously a road bridge, not a railroad bridge, but still the whole concept of what a covered bridge, the insides of what a covered bridge is. And that's what I'm trying to duplicate with this. Of course, the thing is, when you put it in, covered bridge and all that, you do get a, this one, the Roland's Farm covered bridge that was, very specifically for that bridge. But as you can see, all the other covered bridges are what you want to call, here's a Buck Hill Farm covered bridge, where it just shows the traditional covered bridges, where so it's very hard to find a place where they're showing the covered truss or the covered. Another one I've seen is a box bridge, but that winds up being a box truss is an actual type of bridge, which is a type of covered bridge. So, but yeah, that's what sort of in sort of a look of what I'm planning on doing. Let's cancel it and here I'm back. All right, now let's go and change cameras. Ta-da! All right, now let's transition over to the workbench. Now, one thing I did off screen was to finish the other side. So both sides are now ready for the outside sheathing, and tonight I am going to see about doing the inside sheathing. So let's see if I can do this where I can this there where it's not blinding me and all that fun stuff. So basically my plan is to basically do what I did on the outside, adding 6x6s on this side or on the inside, and then turn around and add the 3x6s, and then on top, and then for the actual sheathing, the 1x12s. So yeah, here's the 3x6. Let's pull that down. Now, one of the things that you have to consider while doing this is, I'm not sure if you actually saw that when I was looking at that bridge there, is that everything is sort of like at 9 degrees, except for on top here, which is actually at a slight angle. So I'm not quite sure exactly, what angle I'm going to be aiming for. But one thing I'm going to do is basically use the same length as this, but since it's be on top of the ties, it will be a much. Let's see from there. Go from there to there. That's going to be pretty steep. How about to there? Top of the tie. So it'd be 8x8, be 8 inches taller. Yeah, I would say 8 inches would be a good height or height differential. So let's see. That's there. Do 8 of these because want. Yeah, we'll do 8 of these. Yeah, with was on last night with Anthony Dodge and talking about camera angles, and never really thought of camera angles. I do have 3 cameras. At the beginning, you saw the headshot one. That's basically the built-in camera that's on the computer itself. There's the overhead camera, which is on a very, very janky setup. That's why when I transition, the camera bounces. And then I got a third one, which I, sort of bring around and, haven't really figured out exactly where to keep it and all that. But it's a pop-up camera. It's pretty much the same thing as the overhead. It's basically the same exact thing as the overhead camera. With its own little ring light, which doesn't really actually add a lot of light. But yeah, I got this on its, pretty much on its own stand. But that can this extend? No, this is not the one. I have one that does extend. It's just not this one. But yeah, I haven't really figured out where to put the second camera. Right now, not having an operational layout just doesn't make any. I think it might make more sense if I ever get a layout working properly, and have it, have it at the wherever the layout is. But right now, the layouts that I have are really, really small, so. All right, so there's that side. And in Discord, no, wait, no, it wasn't Discord. It was Signal. Somebody from the local area is like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's snowing." It's like, of course, long time people in this area are like going like, March was, it's like, you're complaining about snow in March and all that. It's like March used to, before global warming, March used to be where we used to get the biggest snowstorms. But we do not get them. We do not get them as frequent as we used to have. All right, looks like another one. That takes care of the big ones. I'll probably turn around and duplicate the small ones here, complete with their angles. So let's see. 4 of these. Start with the angle. Let's go with this. This is a That's another one that already has the things chopped off. All right. That there. Needed to put the ties in there. Go here. Need 4 of these. One, two. Three. Oh, wait a second. It is 4. All right, now I'll do the shorter one. And we'll start at the roots of the ties. Oh, wait a sec. No, this actually goes to the top of the ties. Because we want this to be the same height. So I gotta turn around and clip some more up of those. Shorten about 8 inches. Loop that around. Down. last but not least, let's put these back in here. All right, that's all the 6x6s. All right, let's put them all in. All right, let's see these. All right, that one's sort of through there. Slightly modify it, and doesn't have to be exact where stuff is, so we don't have to recut them. But I need to add more clear glue. And for people wondering why I'm using clear glue instead of white glue, is because that's what where I bought it from had. They didn't have they had smaller bottles of white glue, but that was this was the largest that they had. It was at a dollar store. So first things first. Put that down there. Put this right about here. Put it right directly on top of the tie. Make sure it's relatively straight. Straight up and down. I think this will work. Not quite sure how I'm gonna finish that, but we shall see. Just keep on adding more and see what happens. Now, theoretically, this should have been in line with this post, but it didn't line up with the tie, so that's why I wound up going that direction. Now this one looks like it's going to line up with the post, so we can slather the whole post. Now, the interesting thing is with this is that it's going to narrow the bridge by about, yeah, I would say about 1.5 feet, a scale 1.5 feet. That there. That there. So you might be able to do both sides tonight. That's the reason why I'm called it, the inside job tonight. It looks like the rest of the it looks like these two are also in between ties. So I only got one that's that way. Go this way. All right. Be careful on the that was not secured. Huh. I guess that's one of the disadvantages of clear glue. So with white glue, where you're putting stuff. And then it dries clear. Well, when it's clear to begin with, it's a little hard to see where stuff is. All right, let's see. We making sure everything is. Oh, hello there, PK&W. Thank you for showing up. Yeah, I'm assuming that the people are the cool kids are hanging out here. Well, what I am working on is what's called a covered truss bridge. A lot of people know what a covered bridge is, where it's basically it looks like a house, over a bridge. This is a covered truss bridge. Hmm. That's interesting. Uh, Randall. Let me sneak over to the. Uh, I found a covered truss bridge, which, let me see. Close that out. Let me present. Share screen. Okay. Okay. Now this is basically a covered truss bridge that's falling apart, and so we can actually see the truss on the inside. But let's see if we can. Here's some pictures where it's a little bit, not as decayed. But as you can see, this is a full normal covered bridge, but this is only covering the trusses. It's sort of a a compromise between a full covered bridge and a non-covered bridge. This looks like it's been refurbished, because as you can here you can see where the you can see the planks are missing and all that, but here it looks like it's been refurbished. There's all the planks are there, but they didn't cover the trusses. The trusses are bare. But yeah, that is what I am doing. As far as I know, there is no. This is sort of a kit bash. This is actually a Hunterline. I'm got the wood and everything from a Hunterline covered bridge, which is this one. I actually have two pictures. But yeah, I think one is supposed to be like I think this one's a narrow gauge and this is the standard gauge. Well, when I asked Rick Hunter from Hunterline, it's like I was planning on getting a queen truss bridge, and saying, what wood do I need to make a covered truss bridge? And he just said, just buy the the covered bridge and then use the parts for that. I did have to wind up buying some more of this particular style of, I think it's a 1 by, or trying to think now, I think it's like a 6 by 12 or something like that. So I was able to, because the covered bridge doesn't have the covered bridge doesn't have the outriggers that the normal queen post has, because the whole, you can see, here's where it gets its stiffness from there. Yes, absolutely, PK. It is. My assumption is that it's because it's a. Hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. I believe it was a cheaper option, but if I remember correctly, I think a covered bridge lasts about 10 years longer than an uncovered bridge, where this is sort of like, if I remember correctly, sort of like it adds another 5 years because the deck is not protected. As you saw the pictures earlier that I showed, the trusses, the trusses themselves were okay, but the flooring was not. So now we'll do the same thing with this one, or the rest of these. So we'll dab the side, dab the bottom. Now this yeah, I keep on forgetting to grab tweezers. This needs to be a little bit lower. Is that low enough? I'm gonna do the measure twice, cut once though. Now it might have been hard to why thank you, PK. The thing is that the covering for the bridges were for wooden bridges. When steel came along, they no longer needed to cover them. That's why you don't really see them. So when you see a covered bridge, it's wooden. And basically it's to protect the wood. All right, this needs to be trimmed just a bit. I think I made these a little longer. And it's the same. Well, obviously, it's also the same thing with the covered truss bridge. Is that well, they're also wooden bridges. Now, one thing you may or may not notice on the photos is that the top portion here is actually angled. So I made these longer and all that, so when I put the planking on top here, it'll be angled this way to pretty much have the water aim away from the tracks. Some are more prominent than others. This one we can get away with not trimming. Now, one thing you might notice is that I'm putting a lot of stuff on here that that are not being they're whereas the ties are all colored and all this other stuff, but a lot of the stuff I'm putting on now is not. Yeah, I'm using Elmer's Clear. And the thing is that somebody was like going like, "Ooh, what's so important of the washable clear stuff instead of using normal white?" And the answer is, this is the biggest bottle where I bought it from had. They had the white glue bottles that were much smaller, so I bought this one. That's the only reason why I went that direction. It's what they had. And I know there's sometimes arguments of, oh, what did it's like this person used and this person used. It's like sometimes it was just what they just happened to have. There was no other major logic on things. I heard that there was this one debate on this one particular racing bicycle, and they're having all this, all the young frame builders are having, this big huge discussion of why do they use two different make and manufacturers for the for part of the build and all that. Possibly. Well, the thing is, a lot of the stuff I'm doing right now is actually going to be hidden, so because as you see that it basically is two wooden walls. If you want to look at a railroad type bridge, it uses a different style of truss, but I'm trying to think now. Information. We have the Wisket, Waterville, Farmington, and Railway Museum. Let's see, is this the one? Nope, not this one. Yes, I think this is the one. Let's see. Yes. Here's where they're rebuilding a bridge across something, and this particular bridge trusses, it was salvaged from a bridge that was taken apart and all that, and as you can see here, they put the truss together, they covered the trusses, then they turned around, painted the walls, installed the track, and here it is with the complete installation. They did not on this one, they did not, I'm not quite sure if you can see it, but they did not cover the, I want to call the outriggers. They left them plain. My assumption is that because people are not really going to see them, so why bother? But I'm planning on covering these. I would say that's the different variations there are of them. Yeah, actually, putting photos on there, I would aim for clear or glue. I would aim for clear or glue myself. That seems to be the way to go. But it also depends on how close it is. It is to uh, the viewing aisle. One of the important things I think I should be doing is making sure everything's all nice and straight. Because I mean, this is just my opinion. I think models made with photos, they're good for, I want to say, background and midground buildings. Foreground buildings, I think you wind up losing the illusion. But if it's, I'd have to say, if it's beyond, I mean, in my opinion, if it's beyond an arm's length away or more, the illusion will be there. Mainly because of depth of field. Yeah, I would say water and photos are, not very, sort of like oil and water. It has to. There is a way to get them to work together, but I think they probably they need some help in that. They need something to help them in that regard. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, having it that shallow, if it's up against the backdrop, maybe. But yeah, yeah. To me, it would be a little bit of a challenge. But it's one of those things of let people know how well it works. It's I think one of the disadvantages with shelf layouts is that a lot of tricks that you can do with a full slice layout you can't do with a shelf layout. Things like forced perspective might not quite work with something that's that narrow, with a narrow shelf and all that, because you have to be looking at it very specifically. All right, now that that's all the uprights are all put in. Let's go and put down 3x6s. And cross my fingers that I have enough here. Let's start with this side. Let's trim the end off. So we get the approximate correct angle. Oh, why, thank you. Basically, what I wound up using was 3 styles of weathering mix also from Hunterline. Driftwood, Thai brown, and creosote black, which are, I think, were pretty much, what the, railroad tie color is. And for what I'm using, I also got blue gray. What I'm planning on for the sheathing part of it is barn red. So, all right, let's go from here to here. Put this one all the way to the bottom. Let's go here. Well, I don't know about that, especially since a lot of these things I bought over a year ago. I think the weathering mixes I think I bought over 2 years ago. They are alcohol based. They dry very, very quickly. Put that there. One of the things I'm planning on doing is after getting this whole project done, sending the information on hello there, Eugene. Thank you for coming in. Put that there, that there. Creating as close as possible. On the gaps that don't quite make it. That's good to know, Eugene. Okay. Just that one. Same on the other side. There, there. Mm-mm. Alright. Alright. Just that. Need to still check the time. Oh. Alright. Well, basically, it is now almost 8 minutes. Basically, what I'm going to do probably off camera is just keep on adding these. I want to say instead of doing like I did on the outside where I did 4, looks like I only have enough room for doing 3. So I'll leave this off for now. And either that or I have to go and buy some more 3x6s. Alright, time to switch over cameras. Have everything bounce all over the place. Alright, back to cameras. Alright. Now, so the question I have for PK and W modelers, who is STS tonight? I want to say it's normally John, but it's tax season, so it's not him. All right, yeah, it's like a lot of you are very welcome, PKW. DB Tech. All right. Well, hello there, Mystic. I would have to say there's nothing wrong being tardy. But I am getting ready to stop the stream and go over to not PKW, DB Tech, to do, hang out with him. All right. Cheers, Andy. Thanks for coming. And enjoy. Go to sleep because I'm assuming it's very late over on the other side of the pond. But yeah, it's like you're gonna have to rewatch the whole show. It gives a little insight of what I'm doing. Midnight, yes. So, all right. See everyone over at DB Tech. I think the world needs more love, so find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye.